Now, what you're going to notice on today's call is going to be semi-interactive, and we'll be having some discussion, some coaching. We're going to be looking at communication challenges. We named 3 specific ones we're going to focus on. Combination of laser discussion, spot coaching on these behaviors, and the mindset of the predator-prey partner model that some of you know quite well. So whether or not it's your challenge, you're welcome to participate in the discussion and volunteer to be coached. You might do a little bit of writing, so if you have a pen and paper nearby, that can be useful. And as Ivana said, raise your hand. If I don't see your hand because the video is off, just unmute yourself and speak up. At the same time, when you're speaking up, I'm going to invite you to be concise. Now, I started doing these webinars about 2 years ago. And what I've learned and what I've seen over the years is that being concise and saying your message to the point has become even more important with the virtual world that we're in, because people just don't have the same bandwidth that we had 2 years ago. Also, if you put something in the chat and you think I haven't noticed it, you can unmute yourself and speak up, or Ivana will be monitoring the chat from time to time and she can interrupt me. If you got this email, now a number of you, I see you wrote when you signed up that we haven't met before. Now, I'm delighted you're here. At the same time, when most people on the call have attended either a keynote or a workshop or a full training that I've given. And as I say in my trainings, you don't have to like what I say. You don't have to agree with it. Just stay open to it. And stay open to it over the course of 6 to 8 weeks while you practice the new behaviors. Because our brains naturally want to disagree and find what's wrong with something and shut it out. So you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. Just stay open to it. And this is what open looks like. So interesting. And even when you're faking it, ironically, it still allows some of it to seep in. And also, it's a great way to flex your adaptable muscles and being out of your comfort zone. What I want to do now is to give you a short overview of this predator-prey partner model. It'll be a review for some of you, and it'll be brand new for others, though it will give us a foundation that we're working on. So the 3 archetypes, the predator sounds like this. You got a problem? Hey, Sarah, what are you talking about? No, I don't understand. Sarah, no, that doesn't make sense. No, Sarah, just listen to me, okay? And Sarah's thinking, what did I do? So I'm showing too much respect for myself, not enough for others. And the person can feel disrespected or aggressed. By contrast, the prey, and that's spelled P-R-E-Y, although they're often P-R-A-Y because they're really nice people, could sound like this. Sarah, I know. Could I just, I'm sorry. I just need to explain. And here I am coming up with begging energy, and that could trigger someone, even someone like Sarah, to become aggressive towards me. So let me say it differently. If you have any relationship in your life where you feel like you're getting mistreated, it's possible you're showing up as too nice. When I do these trainings, I'm showing this in the body language, the voice, and the words. So these are the 2 extremes. And this happens when we're under pressure, stress, perceived threat, crisis, or just if we're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, or COVID. You know, that's what? 9 different possibilities of us slipping into predator or prey. So the invitation is step in partner before you need it. Stay in partner when the going gets tough. And remain in partner even if you don't get what you want. So let's say Sarah and I are 2 colleagues and we're having a disagreement. I might say it this way as a partner. Yeah. So Sarah, in your opinion, we probably don't have the budget. Is that right? Okay, let's talk about that. So I'm being calm, cool, and collected. I'm holding high respect for myself, high respect for Sarah. If Sarah was a predator, she's not motivated to stay predator with me because she feels the respect I'm showing her. If she's a prey, she's feeling safe and respected and less likely to be prey. So the power of this model is only one person has to hold the partner frame for it to work. I think we'd all agree it's a lot nicer when both people are being partners. And it's possible to get what you want more often with less difficulty, even if the other person is not behaving at first. All right. So I see we've got a number of more people have joined. Welcome, everyone. We just gave a quick overview of the predator-prey partner model. And what I'd like to do now is, let's see, I have Manu is volunteered to be coached, and I may have, and the other person, I don't see Root here. Root, if you are here, you can unmute yourself and let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to start with Manu. Great. Thanks, Manu. And everybody else, if you want to keep your cameras on, you can. If you want to turn them off, feel free. So Manu, you agreed that the challenge that you're working on, and this was the highest voted challenge by everyone else on the call, is managing raging bullies.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so Manu, I want you to think of a specific scenario.
Yes.
And in 4 or 5 sentences, give us the overview. What's the situation? What are the details you want to share with us that we need to know about this person or this situation?
The situation might be triggered by something which is unrelated to us, and that is maybe a conflict that a person has with another person, and typically it would call on me and complain to me about the situation, and in a very aggressive way, and I would have to get him to think about it and refrain himself.
Okay, so Manu, this is not a situation where the person's being aggressive at you. Nonetheless, even when they're just being aggressive, that energy is unpleasant and exhausting.
Correct.
Okay, so what would you ideally like to happen when that person's coming at you with that aggression?
I would like to calm him down and to get him to think rationally rather than emotionally.
Okay, to think rationally rather than emotionally. Okay. So that step may be further down the line than you think.
Yes.
The calming the person down is, I'm delighted you said that, because that's going to be your priority.
Yes, and please go ahead. Typically what I would say is, and that's also part of your coaching, I would certainly get him to feel that I understand his frustration, his point of view, and put him at ease with the fact that I understand it and that I empathize with him, so that he can see things, he thinks that I see things like him.
You get this understanding that you see things like him.
Correct.
Got it. Right, because that's a brilliant way to show empathy. Okay. So I'm going to actually invite several people to turn off your videos. So Sarah, Christian, and Benna, and Melanie. Even though, I don't know, Melanie, your screen is black. I don't know if we can turn that off any more than that. Okay, so Manu, can you enact that difficult person?
I will try.
All right. So wait a minute, give me a second. Okay. So, and let me see if I can turn off Melanie's. There we go. All right. So you're going to be that person. I'm going to play your role. So you're coming at me. I don't see this coming. So Manu, I only want you to calm down if you genuinely feel like it's working.
Okay. So Amy, this idiot of Tom again, again did the same thing, right? And
Tell me.
I told you 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
exactly the same thing, and I'm fed up of working with him.
Right.
It's not possible, and I'm really, I got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't change, I'm gonna move.
Yeah. And Manu, this is with Tom. You said you're frustrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. He's really an idiot. I can't work with him.
Got it.
It's really, really, really frustrating. Every time he thinks he's best, and I can't stand it anymore.
Okay.
And if you don't change things, I'm gonna just part ways with you guys. I'm fed up of this.
Wow, Manu, what I'm hearing is you are fed up. You've had more than enough.
Yeah, really. And I'm glad you understand it.
Okay, good. So now Manu is not a naturally aggressive guy, so he had to kick it up. This is for everyone observing. Nonetheless, Manu, what changed for you? What caused you to start to shift?
Clearly, the fact that you're pausing and that you are aikidoing me, in the sense that you're utilizing my aggressiveness in making me aware of this aggressiveness in a subtle way.
And so I'm making you aware of it, and that's not necessarily going to make you want to calm down. Do you have a sense of what made you?
Well, it makes me spin, it makes me spin or overspin, and then I'm losing energy in my aggressiveness.
Right. So good catch. So I call this, letting the person spiral themselves down. So I make zero effort to shut you down or get you to see reason or be rational. You're too far gone at this point. So the other ways I showed you empathy, did you notice how my face, what it was doing? Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm showing empathy through the look on my face. When I go, yeah, and you're fed up, and I'm not saying that any of your thinking is reasonable or okay. I am simply naming what you said that was difficult.
Yes, I noticed.
Right. So it's only at this point that you can start to calm down. Now, let's go back into the role play. Let's see what I say next. So listen, Manu, I can clearly hear that you are at your wit's end.
No, you can't. I mean, you really, I told you 2 months ago and then 2 weeks ago, and I'm fed up of having to repeat that. I can't work with him. It's just not possible. And the guy's a jerk. He doesn't understand anything about the job. Yep. And then he comes back to me saying that he knows stuff he doesn't know. Right. So I'm fed up. What can we do about it?
Okay. So you're clearly fed up, and because you're right. You've told me this 2 months ago. You told me 2 weeks ago. And what I'm hearing is you're not getting the outcome that you want.
Yes, I'm tired.
Okay.
So I really, either you have a solution for this or I'm gone.
Okay. So Manu, what I'd like to do is to talk about this and find a solution, because you are very valuable to us. And I don't want to lose you.
Okay.
I think that would be a shame. That would be that would be a huge loss to myself and to the company. Okay, so what's happening now?
So I guess we are at the crossroads. You have either an understanding predator who then calms down and decides to partner up, or you have a stubborn predator who then seeks revenge, even on someone who's proposing an open hand.
Yeah.
So in my experience in the last months, when I had such cases, when I partner up and I really open my hand and I show understanding, and I'm willing to tell the person in question that I want to find a solution, they usually come down and start partnering up in some way.
Okay. And that's not always the case, is what you're saying.
It's not always the case, no.
So let's review it for yourself and for others. What I'm doing right now is I am accompanying you. Even though I am not enjoying it and I'm frustrated and I wish you would just grow up and act like a mature adult and speak to me in a calm, respectful way, I can't demand that of you, because what's happened is you've had an amygdala hijacking. Your brain is not functioning properly. So it would be a waste of time and probably make things worse if I do anything other than just accompany you until you spiral down. So that's.
Yes, and by all means, Amy, what you said is right. In the past, before being coached, I was typically raising my voice or not necessarily attacking, though I wanted to intervene to justify, and that was just getting it worse.
Great awareness. So this is probably true for other people on the call. So what Manu's describing is when someone goes predator on us, we want to defend or justify. And so keeping your mouth shut, except for, yeah, right. And then whatever they said to summarize it and offer empathy, that's the only things you want to do at this point. And that already takes a lot of discipline. So what we're seeing with you, Manu, is, and it's great because you 2 or 3 times, you went back into that aggressive place. And each time I'm kind of absorbing it and holding the space for you. And it's not fun. What's satisfying, though, is watching the other person deflate like a balloon. It won't work 100% of the time, though it'll work a lot of the time. So then that's where you're going to feel satisfaction. You see the person calming down. Now, we're still in a delicate place. So at this point, I might say, listen, Manu. Oh, by the way, what I said to you about you being valuable and us not wanting to lose you, and it would be a personal loss for me, I would only say that if it was true. And so we assume that that's very much the case. And that's not just stroking the ego. There's truth to that, and it's important for them to hear it.
Yes, and typically in my job, I have to deal with strong egos, so to say, or predators. And usually these predators are very good at what they do. So this is typically a conversation that I would have with someone who is valuable.
Yes. And so that's the challenge with predators. They know they possess the skills. And so they're able to wield that power. So what I do in that moment, Manu, is I name it. I don't even pretend that that's not true. And so then we get it on the table so that ironically, it gives them a little less ability to maneuver or manipulate that. I go, yeah, it's true. I don't want to lose you. So Manu, here's what I suggest. Let's have a meeting after lunch. And we're going to sit down and we'll talk about the top 3 concerns you have and see what solutions we can find. How does that sound for you?
Sure, that sounds good.
Great.
It sounds good. We need to do this ASAP.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so what was the little trick I just did, Manu, with that suggestion?
You gave a very concrete timeline on when a resolution could be found or a solution could be found. So that reassures me.
And what else did we squeeze in there?
You spoke about we find a solution or?
Lunch.
Lunch, yeah, sure.
Don't underestimate how important it is for people to get food and beverages into their body, because that will help their body function better.
Sure, right.
So I love how you caught that. I knew that it was timely. We're going to deal with this today. Let's find time after lunch. And and then I either suggest maybe we go for lunch or after lunch. I would definitely make sure there was no alcohol involved in the discussion, just because we know what alcohol can do to people's behavior.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, now let's pretend lunch is gone, the meeting's finished. We've found some solutions for you. And let's say you're feeling pretty satisfied. Only now is the earliest time I would introduce your behavior. So now I'm going to confront you on your kind of raging. Let's see how I handle it. And I might not do it well, Manu. So I want you to push back later when we analyze it to say what worked, what didn't work. So Manu, I'm really appreciating the time you spent discussing this with me today. And
Good.
It sounds like we found some solutions that we hope will work, and we're going to analyze them in 10 to 12 days from now to make sure that the implementation is working.
Okay, sounds good. It will not only depend on me, obviously.
Correct.
It will depend on the other people.
Yeah, and we'll check in with Tom and make sure. Yeah.
Good.
Manu, I need another 15, 20 minutes from you now. Do you still have some time now?
Yeah.
Great. Manu, I want to discuss something with you. It might be a little bit unpleasant or uncomfortable to hear.
Oh.
Yeah. And I bring this to you because I too want to have the best working environment possible.
Sure.
And Manu, when you came to me earlier today, it was pretty intense. Yeah, you were understandably upset. And the packaging of the message, I avoid saying you, the packaging of the message was, even though it wasn't directed at me, it felt pretty aggressive.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is business. At the end of the day, I need to get things done, right? So for me, it's important to get things done, Amy.
Right.
And this is my way to get things done.
I get that. And it used to be my way too. And I've gotten enough feedback from people to know that I damaged relationships when I did that. And so what I'm wondering, Manu, is if you'd be willing to explore other ways of expressing yourself when you're upset.
What do you mean by that?
Next time you have a concern, that you come to me and you tell me, I want to hear it. I literally would just like you to talk in a much calmer way, almost like, when your kids were young and you had to put them to bed real soft and gentle.
I get that.
A little bit like bedtime energy, just a little cooler, a little calmer, even though you're understandably upset.
Yeah, I know. And I'm getting upset because, again, if there is someone who's incompetent, then I need to prove it, and I need to show it.
You're right. And we don't want to maintain an environment where we have people who are incompetent. Though here's the thing, Manu, and this might be hard to hear. When we're aggressive, that be considered a quality of incompetence, because we're not showing the emotional intelligence to keep ourselves calm under pressure.
So are you telling me I'm incompetent?
Well, I'm preaching from the choir, my friend, because this was a struggle I used to have. And I would say this is an opportunity for you to upgrade your skills, because your skills in some areas are extraordinary. And we want you extraordinary in all areas.
Okay. Let me think about it.
Manu, appreciate that. Thanks.
Good.
And this is something that is just the beginning of my invitation. So I don't expect you to resolve it overnight. It took me time. So perhaps we can have some more conversations about this going forward.
Okay, good. Sounds good.
Thanks, Manu.
Let's meet again.
Okay, time. So I loved how you played it. You pushed back. You know these people well. So what worked there, Manu?
What worked for sure is the fact of caressing the ego and highlighting the good, the good sides of a strong character, of a strong ego.
Which are valid.
And definitely explaining from your perspective the fact that you have gone through as well a transformation.
Yep.
That is very valuable. I've been using that in the past, and I think it worked pretty okay. Just to show that people can transform themselves in something better, and it doesn't mean you're less effective. So I think that was very good, and that's something I feel is really useful in the conversation.
Wonderful. And Manu, I think you were getting at it. I was talking about from my perspective. So that was to help avoid me pointing the finger too much at you and making you wrong or it all about you. So luckily I could speak from my perspective.
Yes, surely a front attack with a strong ego, no matter if he's calmer or not, will not boil down well. So talking about the environment or the situation is certainly a better approach. And
when you caught me and you said, "Are you calling me incompetent?" I didn't say, "Oh, no." I kind of slowly I slowly said yes. And I think I also used a little bit of playfulness and a little bit of humor about talking to the choir or something. Because
and you turn the aggressiveness in incompetence, which is very good, because
right.
I think the person realizes at a certain point that he's being aggressive, and when he understands that this aggressiveness is not a plus, and it is an incompetence, then it becomes easier to reframe him, so to say, or direct him in the right direction.
Good point. Now, the very last thing I did, and then feel free, everybody observing, to type in the chat if you have any thoughts or comments from this role play. Manu, the last thing I said was, this is not, I don't expect you to change this overnight. We can talk about it. That was what I call a safety net. That was me squeezing my way in to get permission to keep this topic on the table for discussion.
Yes, and the fact of kind of saying, I'm going to be checking on you.
Yes.
I'm going to be continuing to work with you and checking on you on the amelioration of that side of your character.
Yeah, very good. I'm so glad that you observed that, because that's exactly what I call the safety net is, this conversation is not over. And it's reasonable that we wouldn't expect you to resolve things on your own so quickly.
And the fact of being there to help someone transforming himself is very important, and the fact of not pretending in a meeting to change someone is also very important. People would tend to be overwhelming to be coached in a single meeting and say you got to change as of the end of the meeting, right?
Right. And then you're speaking from firsthand experience of the transformation you've gone through and the time it's taken you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can do other things like, the ego tango is useful in those kind of things. You could say, hey, listen, I've got a book that I can loan you if you feel like reading it. So you keep that door open for the discussion.
Yeah.
Great. Manu, thanks. That was really a rich demonstration. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, super. So let's see. Any comments people have, feel free to write them or take yourself off mute and speak up and share your thoughts. I'm pretty sure that Root, unless you're signed in with a different name, it looks like you have not made it this evening. So that means that we have the opportunity to do another role play. So is there anyone else who has a situation that might speak to one of our issues of managing a bully, stating accomplishments without appearing aggressive, creating a positive work environment? Anyone want to have a either discussion or, and if you don't want to get coached, you can also say, Amy, I just want to have a discussion. I don't want to be coached. You get to make that determination. And I'm looking here to see. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, I could play a role if you want.
Fabulous. Okay, so Sandra, when you said that you want to work on managing the bully, do you want to do that role play or do you have a different role play that you'd like to do?
No, seems interesting. I will go for this one.
Okay, great. And Sandra, you and I met just a few hours ago.
Yes, indeed.
And so full disclosure for everyone, Sandra joined a 2-hour webinar this morning. And what was the one piece of feedback I gave you, Sandra?
My energy, I think, right at the beginning.
To add pauses.
Oh, yes, right. Of course. Yeah, definitely. That's one of my weak points. Definitely. I just go straight and without any pause. Yeah.
And this is going to be super important for managing a bully because we want to keep the great energy while still slowing the pace so that they may get unintentionally defensive with you because of your speed. And you're
right.
thinking, what the heck just happened? I was just having a conversation with someone. Okay, Sandra, so tell us in 4 to 5 sentences, what is a specific scenario, a challenge you've had with aggressive people without naming guilty parties?
What can I say? It would be, for example, it could be on a project and we do not agree in the way we would like to proceed with the project. And for example, I'm quite convinced about a way to do and not convinced at all the way the quite pushing people is thinking, but still I think is going to a wall, for example, but just don't want to change and to open his mind to other things, and it could bring tension, and that would be sometimes difficult to see how to convince that people maybe to change his or her mind.
Okay. All right. So now I'm going to have you say that to me again. Let's see if you can say that in half the amount of words. And now the next thing I'm going to do, Sandra, is this. When I do this, I want a really clean pause. So you don't have to do it immediately, though as soon as I do that, within a word or two, I want to hear pause. And we're going to do this back and forth until I feel like it's really, really solid. It will feel a bit weird for you. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Great.
So you want me to explain my points in less words?
Yes,
right?
Good. So you see how you did really solid, clean pauses. Excellent.
Right.
And that was a very concise sentence, by the way. Bravo.
Right. That's my weak point. Also, synthesis, for sure.
It used to be.
You got it. Well, I'm facing someone stubborn. I'm a bit too. Going in a direction I do not agree with and not ready to be open to discuss its point of view.
That was amazing. So Sandra, let's talk about this for everyone because being concise is one of the biggest challenges people are having. So everyone, what you notice what Sandra just did was, I call it the 4-sentence rule. You say whatever you have to say in 4 sentences or less, and she did it in 3 very short sentences. So Sandra, what you do is at the end of your day, when maybe you're out for a walk, I can't say when you're driving home because no one's go driving anywhere. You're out for a walk or you're taking a yoga class, or well, you're not supposed to think about other things during yoga. You're chopping onions for dinner, whatever. When you have some brain space, I want you to think about a conversation you had earlier in the day. And you think, oh, that was way too much information. And just like you did now, imagine saying in half the amount of words, half, till you get to 3 or 4 sentences.
Right.
Then at the beginning of your day, maybe you're taking a shower, getting ready for work, thinking about a conversation you're going to have. Oh yeah, I got to tell so-and-so this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Oh, let me say that in 4 sentences. And then so what you're doing is you're practicing outside of the actual moments. So when the actual moments come, you are going to be able to start to do it right in the moment. Does that make sense? And you're muted, my friend. Great.
It mutes itself alone. Yes, it does make sense.
I know. I was like, that's muted. It didn't touch anything. It's the muting monster. Sandra, I suspect that these 2 skills are going to reduce people's defensiveness around you. Because what sometimes happens with too much information, we get overwhelmed and it's exhausting. And then they have to fight you to get in there or something. And remember what I said this morning, the pausing, it's 2 benefits. 1, you're making it easier for me to digest the message. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And the other benefit is you're leaving me all these juicy points to interrupt you if I need to. And the bad news is you want to let people interrupt you. And there's a third thing. Let's see if I can find my tool. Sad. Happy.
Yes.
So when you were speaking earlier, I think I heard several but. Don't beat yourself up. Everyone does it until they remove it out of their vocabulary. Manu has become an expert on getting rid of but. Okay, Sandra. So now let's pretend I'm that colleague that you're in conflict with. Is it accurate to say we're in some conflict?
Let's say that.
Okay. So then Manu says, but what's that? Good. Amnesia. I like it. So I'm going to see if I can resist you and fight you and disagree with you. And I'm going to stop doing that once I no longer have the motivation to resist you. And what's the simple disagreement we're having? Remind me, you said something that...
about the timing for the launch of our project, for example.
Okay, timing of the launch. Okay, so whatever you're going to say, I'll disagree with it. Okay, so action.
Okay, Amy, I think that we should launch our magazine just right before Christmas.
Okay, good. So you notice I'm already disagreeing with you. So don't keep pushing. This is a passive disagreement, though it's a disagreement nonetheless. So as soon as you get some kind of no, oh, Amy, tell me your thoughts. So your job is to turn it over to me. Okay, let's start.
So Amy, I think we should launch the magazine we have prepared right after Christmas. Amy, what you do not agree? I see on your face that you're not really agreeing.
Good. Okay, good. So one of those phrases, Amy, tell me your thoughts.
Okay.
So you don't want to do too much talking. That was good, that timing was faster. Action.
So we would like to launch the magazine after Christmas.
No. That is way too early. There's no way we'll be finished by and ready by after Christmas. No way.
Why not, Amy?
Okay, good. So the good news is you stopped immediately when I started disagreeing. The word why not, for some reason, the word why tends to put people on the defensive.
Okay.
So you might be safer to say, oh, tell me your thoughts, Amy. Like you're suddenly so curious and so interested in what I have to say. Oh, okay, tell me. And you're upbeat and friendly. So the other thing I want you to do, Sandra, is remember I mentioned on the call today, active listening, active interruption.
Right.
Right. So when I'm doing, well, no, I think you stop yourself and you go right into, yeah, tell me, Amy. Or, yeah. So Amy, if I hear you correctly, and summarize something I said. And then give me the invisible microphone.
I feel you, I feel that as could be interpreted as aggressive. I don't know, like
Right.
you irritated and you say, I don't know, maybe that's a way I just perceive it.
Sure.
I don't know. That's, but as you said, yeah, tell me your thoughts. Yeah, could be a
pause.
Nice option.
So Sandra, I just did 5 active listenings to you right there. Did you notice?
I'm switching. I should not, because I'm switching between the camera to look at you, but I should definitely look at your face. That's
okay. It was audio. The fact that so it was really little micro active listening. So Sandra, like many people like you struggle with the yeah, I see, okay. They're going to think it could be aggressive or sarcastic. And yet just then when I did it with you, you weren't even conscious of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, very good, very good. Okay, so we're working on a number of different things, Sarah, that are softening your approach so that you're coming across as less unintentionally aggressive or pushy. So we're slowing you down. We're adding pauses. You already have a great smile. You're doing the non-verbals naturally. We heard some of the verbal ones naturally. You let yourself be interrupted by me very quickly. Next step then is you summarize what the person says. And then lastly, tell me more. Okay, so we'll do this again. So you bring up your point. I'm going to disagree with you. You active listening, and then tell me more.
Okay.
And I liked how you used my name. That was great.
Hi, Amy. I would like to mention that the launch. I thought it would be really good to do it
just
after Christmas. Sorry. After Christmas, right after Christmas. What you thought about that, Amy?
I think that's so active listening. I think that's a really bad idea. I mean, there's no way. So do some nodding. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no way that we're going to be ready by the time Christmas is over. There's no way.
What you would suggest, Amy?
Nice. And just before you do that, say, so Amy, I hear that it doesn't sound realistic. What would you suggest?
Okay.
Or tell me your thoughts. So let's hear that.
Okay, yes, Amy, I hear you. You don't think it's realistic, so
right.
Tell me your thought. What you think?
Gorgeous.
What you would suggest?
Beautiful. We're not finished, except the game. You've already won the game, Sandra, because I can't continue to be difficult with that very easygoing, relaxed, upbeat, open approach.
I see. The repeating thing is interesting. I never done that.
Yeah. So watch the video. Ivana, would you put in the chat the link to the active listening, active interruption video? And I know, Sandra, because of the webinar you attended today, you'll also get that information already, though this is for everyone else. Yeah, it's insanely powerful.
Yeah, it gets people down, definitely.
Yes, yes. And because you saw that a little with the role play with Manu as well. It calmed them down. Yep. And you're experiencing good, super cool. So Sandra, what are you taking from this little micro coaching?
A lot, actually a lot. The pausing thing, the silence are really powerful. I knew it in music, but in a conversation is also extremely powerful, and I don't use it enough, definitely. Stop. And the repeating things, and the positive, not asking open questions. open, but not like why, or that could be thought about aggressive, but really directing to what is your thought, and show that I'm really interested to listen what you have to say, and I'm open to listen to another point of view.
And so you can see how it's hard to fight someone when they feel you're really listening to them.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Listen, before we go, Andrea, can I pick on you? Because I know that, Andrea, you wanted to work on stating accomplishments without appearing aggressive. Are you up for joining me, either audio or video or both? I guess we can't do just video. I can hear you, Andrea.
Yes, but that doesn't sound familiar to me.
No, that wasn't yours?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things you said, state accomplishments without appearing arrogant.
Seriously? Okay. Because that's not an issue I'm dealing with, I think.
I'm so happy for you. That's great. So let's see. Who else? Carmen, are you on the call today? Yeah, I see you, Carmen. You were on earlier. Carmen, would you like to have a little laser coaching of 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah, why not?
Good job, Carmen.
I had a question anyway on something you said earlier. I can't see you. I hope you can see me. You said, the speed at which we speak. I kind of do the same. You blurt it out. Is that related to the culture you're a part of? Because yes. I feel like
you're Spanish.
Some cultures are. No, I'm not Spanish, but I live in Spain, and I feel like that makes me speak faster because you kind of.
Okay, Carmen,
otherwise.
So you can't see me, so I'm going to say pause. So every time I say pause, put in a micro 1 second pause as soon as you can.
Okay, got it.
Keep going.
So I feel like in Spain, you always have to be fast to speak because people are very, very fast speaking, right? So it turns you into, it gives you a need to be fast, to be part of the conversation.
Good. Beautiful, Carmen. So what you get is you get to choose. When you're in Spain or interacting with Spanish-speaking people, you can probably be faster and it's not an issue. In other places, certainly in Zurich and other areas of the world, you're going to have to add more pausing. So you get to, I would encourage you to add those pauses so you can be more versatile.
Okay.
All right, listen, we have 1 minute, Carmen, and then I'm going to have to wrap up the session. In one or two sentences, please share. Let's pretend we're having a job interview and you're going to share with me one of your amazing professional accomplishments. And you're going to do it without any nervous laughter. Short sentences. And when you're
just said it.
That's right. I could already predict it. And when you're done, you're done. Yes, I built the Eiffel Tower single-handedly.
Oh my God, I'm going to laugh now because you just said it. It's messing up with my mind.
You got to manage your nervousness. That's what that is. Good. Very good. Very good.
I was the owner and
pause. Too many hesitant words.
Okay.
So every word out of your mouth is going to come like this. I was the owner. So no hesitant speech.
I was the owner of a very successful startup in London.
Beautiful. You nailed it.
That's it.
You were loud. You were short. You kept your head straight. You didn't show any embarrassment on your face. There was no nervous laughter. In London, you had I think it was a downward inflection at the end. When you were done, you were done.
That inflection, isn't that more typical of natives than of people who have learned English? Because I feel like you always mention it, and I hear it much more of natives, you guys that have been born speaking English versus others like us.
Natives? No, if you do it in your mother tongue, you'll probably do it in English.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not present in mine, or at least, or I'm not copying the wrong.
I heard
it
it in
is?
English. Yep. You're going to
Okay.
have to work on that one.
Yikes.
Okay, listen, we're going to wrap up. Carmen, thank you so much. That was gorgeous that you just jumped in like that. And folks, to let you know, the next time I'm doing a webinar is going to be September 21st. So feel free to bring friends and family. Also, I've been doing a radio show. It's called Partner Up with Amy Carroll on the Voice America Business Channel. I'm going to do it for the next 11 months. So you can always check that out, and you can find it on my website. You can connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook at Amy Carroll Coaching. And you can check out, aside from my radio show, I have a podcast, which is on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and you can search Carroll Communication Coaching. 2 R's, 2 L's. And if you have a partner success story that you would like to share and you want to be interviewed on my podcast, please reach out to set up some time with me. And as a thank you, I'll offer you a free half-an-hour coaching session, whether you want it or not. And all these links, the things I mentioned, the podcast, the radio show, and all the videos I mentioned can be found on my website, carrollcoaching.com. All right, everyone. Thank you for a great session. And I want you to go out there and be the best partners you can be.
Thanks, Amy.
Pleasure, Sabine.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Absolutely, Sandra. Ciao, Manu.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome, Benna.
Many thanks, Amy.
Hey, say hi to your lovely wife for me. Take care, Axel.